I felt that the best way to explain what we can do for you here at Southern Regional College was in a presentation. So the next 15 minutes is a presentation that just goes through an NPT project, how we approached it, the simple steps to finish, and then followed by a 45-second video. It's really with me working in the kitchen. I was working alongside a business on a coating system for our NPD project. So if you want to take a wee quick snap, it gives you a very, very quick insight as to what we can do for you here. Hello and welcome to number 5 of Webcast Wednesdays. My name is Rachel Little and I am here to talk to you today about what the food business support team can do for you. I am a food innovation and technology specialist, and the best way to approach this is just to take you along through a very simple presentation, just to explain to you how we might develop a simple product development project. So, as discussed, I felt that the best way to talk to you on how we develop a project with a customer is in this next presentation and these next few slides. So, before you even give me a phone call, I would really strongly advise that you have these things to think about, these next few points, how you formulate your project. So, who is your customer? Who is your target market? Who do you want to actually attract if you're not actually supplying to them at the minute? What are their requirements? Are you after a health conscious consumer? Are you after the allergen conscious consumer? What are you trying to do? What are the limitations there? So actually, do you have the premises big enough to facilitate your dream? What do you need to do? Do you need to look at new equipment? Understand that target market. So back to my previous points on your customer, who is your customer? If it is a health conscious consumer, how do you understand that market? So even think about, am I chasing the protein content of my foods, the calorie content, fat, salt, sugar? Those are all key things, and we will help you try and figure that out. And the objective here is that you're creating opportunities for a better future for your team members and you and your business. The next approach, you have given me a phone call. I will then arrange a visit with you and I'll come down to your premises. I feel this is the best way to actually meet and greet and actually start relationship building with you as a business owner. So the here and now, I want to understand your product list. So see what you currently have. I want to see that. I want to see that on your shelf, see what it looks like. Understand the range of products that you have. I want to be clear on the allergens that are currently being controlled within your business. Have you got a lot? Is there a lot to manage? Can we reduce that? The cost of your product. So the cost of, or how much margin are you making? What is your labour cost? All of the things that are challenging you today, we want to be very clear on that and make sure that actually you are on the right cost of your retail product. Availability of ingredients, and do they meet you and your customer requirements? The hot topic at the minute, we want to be using local suppliers as and when, and whilst there is a theory that they might be more expensive, let's look at it. It's a really nice story to have with your products. The labelling and specification control, now we will help you with that piece. Labelling, we want to make sure that the back of pack is actually legally viable and how it's meant to be reading. And your specification control when you're out looking for people to sell your product for you. Food safety. It really should probably be at the top of the list. It has to be a key element in every part of this project. And it maybe seems silly, but storage of ingredients and finished product, how are we doing that? Is there better ways to do that? And the logistics of your input and output products. Is there an easier way to do this? Have you got a logistical flow when you are incoming ingredients and how you export as well? Now that I've got the bones of what we're trying to do and have a bit of an understanding of your business, I will then teach you how to do the market research piece. It is a very important step. Might seem like a time-consuming step, but it is the most important. It helps you visualize your dream. How I would explain it, you best going online. It's at your fingertips. You can have a sit down on your seat and sit for 2 or 3 hours and go through what the retailers are doing, what the local suppliers are doing, and just get an understanding of what's happening out there. And the next part, I love this bit, go out into the supermarket. What better way to get an understanding of what you're trying to do, without seeing what's actually out there. You can go into the supermarket, you lift a pack, look at the labelling. How does it make you feel? How does the product make you feel? The size of packaging, this type of packaging, what messaging are they using? Are they hitting the sustainability piece? Are they trying to push on at the health conscious consumer? Really, what's going on out there? It's the best way to do it. And not forgetting the local artisan markets. There is not a town in the countryside that does not have an artisan market at the minute. Now, you'll find some really good hidden gems in there, and actually use it as a bit of homework. Is this another way of retailing your product? Getting out into the artisan markets. It's a lovely experience, and I encourage you to do it as well. Menus. Go out into your, do a bit of a good old fashioned food safari. Get out into the local restaurants. See what they're trying to do. Is there a product that you really like? Would you like to try and replicate that and put it into a retail pack? Also, I can't dismiss it. Wipe the dust off those recipe books and actually get looking in there too. There are some old recipes in there that maybe really, really you'd like to try and replicate. So that's also a good place to start. And we're very lucky here at Southern Regional College. We have some really good market research software at our fingertips. So we get to have a very good understanding of what's going on in local market, your Irish markets, UK markets, and in the EU market. See what's being launched, what's new, and what, I suppose, the consumer really wants. So out of all of those 5 elements, that is a really good bones of good market research. We've done our market research. We now can have a fairly good idea of what products we want to develop and what we want to take through from ideation stage, your light bulb moment, right through to seeing that retail pack in a store on your shelf somewhere. The best way to explain it are in these next 4 steps. A kick-off stage. Not kick-off on a pitch, a kick-off stage between you and your team to start talking about where your vision is and how you're going to do that and how you feel best to do that. You can't be everybody in a business. So it's very important to get everybody on board at this stage and talk about where you feel this is going to go. They might have suggestions or other suggestions to make life better for you, easier for you, The vision, detail, the detailed design, actually how you're going to get it out there, commercials and your launch. So project kickoff stage. This is where you want to develop your recipe outlines. That's a simple pen and paper exercise. Write down recipes, where your ingredients are, what you want to try and do. Get them out of recipe books. Don't be afraid to do that. But record what you're going to try and do. Have an idea of your packaging outline. Sustainability is a hot topic. Nobody can dismiss that. So do you want to start thinking about how you can make that better? Make your packaging smaller, make your packaging brighter, and move away from plastics. Your process outline. So your process outline is really your methodology of how you're going to do these, how you're going to actually make these products. Indicative costs for both ingredients, suppliers, and your finished product. Have a very good idea at this stage. It might seem very early in the process, but you need to have an idea. If you don't believe you're going to make a good enough margin at this stage, then put a pen through it and start again. And a technical risk assessment of your suppliers. So you want to make sure that your suppliers of ingredients are registered, are actually safe to use. All right. The vision. Understanding those ingredients. So you have done your recipe outline. You have a fair idea where you want to go with this. Let's make that vision into reality. So those ingredients, you want to understand pH level. That's another method of control for your shelf life. Okay, so making sure you understand the pH, your storage, how you're going to store it. Is it ambient, frozen, chill? Can you actually work with that? And that then creates that plan for the shelf life. You want to do a theoretical nutritional at this stage. You're not going to have hardcore lab stuff, just theoretical, and we can very much help you with that. If you know that you want to be chasing a health conscious consumer, you want to be clear on your protein level, your calorie count, your fat, your salt, your sugars. So, and if these are too high at this stage, not saying put a pen through it, let's look at the ingredients and see how we can sort of manipulate or look by changing ingredient levels. Are there any prohibited ingredients? So back to my previous points on allergens, is there anything you want to rule out because you can't control it in this way? Minimum order quantity for ingredients. Now, my experience has been one that catches a lot of people out. You've created a recipe. You have an ingredient that's in your recipe at 0.5%. But guess what? When you order that ingredient from your supplier, the minimum order quantity is 100 kilos. And there's only a 6-month shelf life on that. You do your homework, you're only going to be maybe using about 200 kilos by the time 6 months hits. So is it actually worthwhile ordering that in? You're going to have to throw half of it out. So that's not the right thing to do. So, just be clear on that from this stage. Do show and tell to the wider team. So you have done your ingredients. You've probably made up a recipe in your kitchen. So show it to your team and bring them on the journey with you. And have a packaging agreement as such at this stage as well. So sort of have an idea on how you're going to do it. And get in touch with your packaging suppliers and see how you're going to do that. And your equipment. Have you got the right equipment there? Do we need to be thinking that as an element of the project? Now we're getting into the detail. Hazard analysis and critical control points. You need to be record, and have these visions in your thoughts. Do your product trials. Can you do these on the kitchen scale? Can you do these in your actual environment? And the product trials, you want to be using equipment that you plan to use every day going forward. Then we need to get our laboratory trials to understand the microbiological activity and comparing that against your customer standards. What shelf life are you trying to achieve here? Can we do that? So I will help you get a clear understanding of how we can send this to the lab and what micro are we checking for and testing for. We can also do the nutritional testing to determine your back of pack requirements and your traffic light system. Cooking and reheating instructions. What are you going to put on that label? What detail is going on that label? Your photography for packaging and potential.coms. It's so important. Photography sells your product. So we can help you do that. And we have facilities actually in Southern Regional College in Banbridge campus that can help you do really good photography for that element of it. Review your costs again. This is at every step. I will talk about review your costs, review. And considering all of those findings from your factory trials, you want to be finding things like, actually, what was my waste there? Did I capture that in my costing? How many people did it take to actually produce that product? Did I capture that okay? Shelf life, I maybe anticipated that I was going to get 13 days out of this product, but actually I've done my lab trials. I'm only getting 8. Have I considered that in my cost? Very, very important. And then again, I'm like a broken record, your food safety requirements, ensuring that you have full process control. Whilst that's a very quick run through at this stage, and it might seem scary that we're now ready to launch, but this is only a snapshot, and this is not going to be the same for everybody. It's not the same process for everybody, but you want to be prepared to take off and launch your product. So you do a pre-production trial, particularly for large volumes or for new equipment. You want to do a wee bit of a trial run. You don't want to be saying to a customer, I'm ready to put product into your shop in a couple of days and start doing the first product run. Do a pre-production trial. It's just to dot the I's, cross the T's. Agree between yourself and your team your product process and how your finished product looks. That sort of helps with your ends. At this stage, you can do your product specification, take lots of photographs and explain to them what it's supposed to look like. Then your final costs, have those agreed. What I would also stress at this stage, you've launched it, you've got a final product cost agreed. Stick it in your diaries to review that in a month's time, 2 months' time, and then annually. Things change, ingredient costs change. You have maybe got you changing labour. You want to make sure they're actually doing it quick enough, taking a time to sort of how long is it taking somebody to produce this product. Review all these things. And then you want to have your technical buy-in for full process control, considering your chill temperatures, your storage, all of that. A lot of paperwork involved here, but once you have the first steps done, it's a matter of running all through. And a post-launch review. Listen, folks, I appreciate that was a very quick run through of a simple product development project. It's not always going to follow the steps, but I felt this was best to talk about the bones of a project, to explain to you what we can do for you. If it's something that you would like to talk to me about further, don't be afraid to get in touch. Myself and my other colleague, Lydia Riley, she's also in the Food Innovation team. We would love to have a wee chat with you. Please stay tuned for the next webcasts, and particularly in a couple of weeks' time when my colleague Lydia will demonstrate to you a simple product development project as well, but she's going to focus on a product as opposed to the process. So it's going to be very interesting. So listen folks, as I say, please get in touch. Would love to hear from you. And thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, thank you, bye. So today I am working with a business who have approached us asking for support for new breaded poultry products. I'm doing a simple pre-dust, batter and crumb pickup. It's very clear, we need to be very clear on all the measurements at each key step, so we know what percentage pickup we need for our pre-dust, for our batter and for our crumb. This particular customer was very interested in visual for their end product, so that visual we felt was best to go into their end crumb. We've got nice bits of parsley, nice bits of black pepper. So we're pre-dust, batter and breadcrumb, and we have a finished product. I'm going to fry these off and then we'll do a wee taste test after.